What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. As you guys know, there's a big situation going on in the city of Dolton revolving our favorite person, Tiffany Henyard. And Tiffany Henyard is covering up a very big secret that she doesn't want anybody to know. What is that secret? Play that clip.
Stephen Marion, a few days ago, NBC5 obtained complaints filed with the Department of Human Rights through a Freedom of Information request. Now, they're filed against Mayor Tiffany Henyard and the Village of Dolton and Thornton Township. A former female employee who was Henyard's assistant alleges retaliation, sexual harassment, and discrimination after she raised concerns about an apparent non-consensual sexual encounter between her and an unnamed village trustee. The Dolton police officer says in a separate complaint filed with the Department of Human Rights that he also faced retaliatory actions for coming forward with what he witnessed. The incident allegedly occurred during an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May. On that trip, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and a handful of village representatives, including her former assistant who filed this complaint with the Illinois Department of Human Rights, and 2 village trustees. We're not naming the woman because NBC5 does not name people who possibly were a victim of an unwanted sexual encounter. According to her complaint, the woman says she went to dinner with an unnamed Dolton trustee. The complaint then recounts the following events. After dinner, she says she started to feel disoriented, extremely lightheaded, as if the ground was moving. She says she blacked out. According to the complaint, the next morning, she woke up in the trustee's hotel room with no memory of how she got there, experiencing physical discomfort. She says after returning to Dolton, Officer Byron Miles, who was part of Henyard's security detail and went on the trip to Vegas, told her a trustee on the trip told him that the trustee had unprotected sex with her. Officer Miles has also filed a complaint with the Human Rights Department. The woman states in her complaint that after she was told this, she went immediately to seek medical care. Both complaints then provide details of a meeting which took place the following day with the former assistant, Officer Miles, and Mayor Henyard. At this meeting, the woman informed Henyard that she would never willingly have sex with the trustee. Officer Miles informed Henyard and the woman that the trustee called him that night in Vegas. The trustee, he says, then bragged about the sexual activities he engaged in with the woman, Miles' complaint says, suggesting that she may have not had the ability to consent or did not provide consent. According to the complaint, Officer Miles recorded some of this conversation on his iPhone. According to the complaints, the mayor said that if this information became public, she would be ruined, that all the work she'd done would be lost. The ex-employee says the mayor told her she would take care of it and to trust her. Days later, according to her complaint, the woman was put on unpaid medical leave, though she says she did not request to be put on leave. She was later terminated.
That's right. Somebody went with her on this Las Vegas trip. And allegedly, while they were on the trip, somebody took somebody's cheeks. Tiffany Henyard was well aware of it, tried to hide it, fired the lady. And even some of the trustees did not know. They're aware of it as of a few days ago. Here is what the trustees are asking Tiffany Henyard to do now.
By a show of hands, how many of you knew about these allegations? They tell NBC5 they're stunned to learn about the investigation by the Department of Human Rights and the allegations made by the mayor's former assistant.
That could have been any one of us. That could have been either trustee. That could be anybody. I'm furious. This makes no sense. I'm hurt and I'm furious. That means that these people have known about this for some time. It's almost a year later.
The biggest fear is always, how far is this going to go before someone gets hurt? And now I feel like this is what it's come to.
The trustees say the mayor should have immediately launched an investigation. They're calling on the mayor and the unnamed trustee to resign.
For you to cover up something like this, allegations of someone doing this to someone, is horrible. And you cannot lead the village of Dolton under these circumstances. Everybody involved, if you hold a position, you should resign immediately. There's already enough shame being brought to this village. How much more? How much more?
In a statement, Trustee Jason House says he did not go on that trip to Vegas.
So the unknown trustee, whoever that person is, they want that person to step down. They want that person to step down, okay? Now, let me just talk about one thing that we're not talking about. Why was she even elected in the first place? And I think that that's the problem with Dolton. That's the problem that Dolton's going to continue to have. Is that Dolton is going to be a community that's just going to be in shambles. I'm going to tell you why it's going to be in shambles. Unfortunately, I feel sorry for the guys, but the trustees are all single moms. The mayor is a representation of that, single moms. You don't have a lot of business coming into the community. It is a community people are leaving from, a lot of crime. And it's not that single parents are bad, but obviously it's so bad that Dr. Scott wants to create a food pantry there in the community because they need resources. What does that mean? It means that people who have the talent don't want to be there. So because they don't want to be there, then you're not going to get a whole lot of situations coming along. So, no families. There are not going to be a lot of men interested in wanting to, build communities in Dolton. Maybe some of the people are older. But the same problem is probably going to persist. Maybe not at this level, but the city wasn't doing that great before she got there. And it's not going to do that great afterward. Because what do you have to work with? You don't have a lot to work with. You're going to need people that want to be in Dolton that are bringing levels of skill set, a lot of money, a lot of patience, a lot of love. And most talented blacks are not going to want to put up with that. Which was why she got hired and she made mayor in the first place. Okay? One of the trustees is probably more likely to become the mayor again. And don't be surprised in the next 20 years is going to be a mother, a lady. Could be a single, I'm not sure. It could be, I'm not sure. I don't know. But you just don't have a lot to, it seems like, to bring there in the community. All right? A lot of crime. They owe Chicago $8 million. It's just not an optimal place. And that's why she was able to get in the first place, because nobody really wanted to be there. Even Jason House said, I was thinking about running for mayor. I just didn't. You want to know why? Because the guy, he doesn't want those problems. That's why. He'll probably do it now because everybody will actually do it because of what happened with Tiffany Henyard. And they do need some leadership. But he didn't want to do that. Most guys that got opportunities in Black America, okay, they're not going to really want to deal with all of that if they don't have to. We got to call it for what it is. Talented Black people, talented Black men don't want to deal with the buffoonery if they don't have to. All right? It's just the truth. We can look at it for what it is. We can be upset about it. We can call it for what it is. But it's a lot of work dealing in the community. Dealing with people who you feel like do not align with your values and goals and that are much different from yourself. It is unbelievably hard to match such a concept, to marry such a concept. And we don't want to discuss it. But Dolton is in trouble for a long time. It needs serious work, serious investment, serious money, serious skill share, serious sacrifice to want to bring a place like that up to par. And I'm telling you, most of Black America is like, nope, we're trying to leave here. Yeah. Brain drain. Don McNabb's from Dolton. Don't think he want to be there. Right? Might be a nice place, might be a lot of nice people. But hey, 4 people just got shot out there outside of an auto parts store. Guys are not excited about being there. If it were, we would have heard about it right now. And they've talked about how the community used to look, and it doesn't look that great anymore. Want to know why? Because Tiffany Henyard and them ruined it. That's why. What else would you expect? So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shirley Jackson, back at it again with the episode of The Celebrity Junk. Pretty Friday, Bell. We're out.